Mr. Zimmer. So,
Oh, you see, you're
sorry, it's full start.
God, you're just excited. Right, are we?
Okay, so I was wondering, you've had some incredible musicians that you've brought on for this remake. I was wondering how important was it for you to bring fresh eyes to your original score, and how was it like to contaminate your work with other musicians?
Contaminate, that's quite a word. I mean, no, it was, look, I got all my favorite players into this, and I really insisted on this too. I'll give you a really good example that on the first one, the budget was maybe a little less. So for a film about Africa, which should be full of really great percussionists, all the percussion sounds are samples played by me on a synthesizer, so they're not really good. So it was great to have Sheila E. and J.R. Robinson, all those great drummers come in and actually say to them, in some of those places, you have to actually copy my terrible old fills. And going, oh, not so bad, but them making it sound really good. I mean, we went from the notes are okay, everything is fine, to now let's really perform it and really put the extraordinary humanity and the extraordinary technique that all these people have into this. In fact, what happens to me at the premiere, I listen to all the wrong things. Like in Can't Wait to Be King, all I'm doing is I'm listening to Yolanda's bass line because she's really giving it some. I mean, it's like, Guthrie's guitar playing, or so each moment is now painted or has the signature of a master musician. Somewhere in there is that.
Definitely. And I was also wondering, in this movie I felt like the score was such a vital part of it, because at least even the original was aimed at a younger audience, but so it has to maintain sort of a light air to it, but you're also treating some very dramatic moments in the movie. Can you talk me a little bit through the creative process that you had in finding like a correct balance between the two?
Well, actually, something, in this movie, the heavy moments are probably the same. I worked harder on trying to put more light moments into it, because I don't have the cute and funny animation anymore. Animals don't overact the way animation can. So I felt I had to go and be a little bit funny and a little bit broader and things. But for instance, the Stampede is, other than it's a little bit longer, it's exactly the same music. And then I had said to John, the two things I had asked for. One was that the death of the father would be exactly the same length, because it was written for my father, and I needed to sort of protect that, and he got that. And the very end, when he gets up onto the rock and he starts climbing up and all that is exactly the way it was in the old one, except I have amazing musicians performing it.
Perfect. And I'm also wondering, so you're working on several remakes even in the future coming out. I was just wondering, what is your personal perspective on working on remakes, whereas having space to experiment in something that's completely new and completely different? So,
I don't know. I mean, it's like, you see, for me, Dune, for instance, is not a remake, because I never saw the other movie because I loved the book so much. And I just went, hang on a second, 90 minutes or however long the old movie was, you can't tell that story in that time. I don't want to see that. I don't want to, the movie that I made in my head, I don't want that to be tainted. And speaking with Denis over the years, he's saying, I've waited 30 years to make this movie. And I'm going, I've waited 40 years to make this movie. So I knew we were both hungry to try to do justice to it. We hope we can. It's nobody sets out to ever make a bad movie.
Of course.
I think we have a very good team on that. Yeah.
All right.